Hi, I'm Anita from Coast of Maine Organic Soils, and we're here today in Lubec at Three Dog Farm, where Felicia Newman is a market gardener. She also works for Coast of Maine, and she grows the most spectacular looking heirloom tomatoes. Every restaurant in Lubec is clamoring for her tomatoes. Look at these things. This weighs 1.5 pounds. And of course, she grows them all in Coast of Maine. So I'm just going to run you through a couple of tips. I love to grow tomatoes, as do most gardeners. That's the reason why we do it, is to have an amazing heirloom tomato on a piece of bread with mayonnaise and bacon. Doesn't get better than that. So start out, Lobster Compost. This is Coast of Maine makes this amazing product called Quoddy Blend Lobster Compost. And what it has in it is calcium. Tomatoes love calcium. These are plants that are in the ground for a really long time, so you want to make sure they get off to a great start. So I'm going to just run you through a few little tips at the end of the season so you're prepared for next year. I fill my bed we have this new raised bed mix, Castine blend, and we've taken everything that you could possibly need in your garden bed and put it in one bag for you. So you can literally open the bag and plant a tomato in there if you wanted, or dump it into a container or into a raised bed. Make a hole. I like to add a little bit of our lobster meal at the bottom of the hole. Then I take my tomato plant. You know, when you get it in the spring from a nursery, it's probably about this big. And I bury 1/3 of that. If you can do a little more, that's fine too. You can't, you know, 1/3 of the plant above the surface is really all you need. Everything below the surface is going to turn to roots. So you've got the little bit of lobster meal at the bottom. You put your tomato plant in. I like to backfill with Quoddy Lobster Compost. That's just going to give that tomato some really extra calcium. And then I compress the soil around the plant, creating a water well. And what that does is it focuses the water right on the root system. Everything you put, that stem that you've put below the surface, is going to turn to roots. And you want to make sure that the tomato can support itself 3 months later when it's bearing all this wonderful 1.5 pound fruit. So building the root system is really important. So when your tomatoes are starting to set flower, they have little yellow flowers, that's when I get out my Stonington plant food. I mean, this is the most amazing organic plant food. Has worm castings, lobster meal, kelp meal, everything your tomato plant wants to produce this beautiful fruit. And I take and I top dress around the base of the plant. So every time it rains or I water, all of the nutrients in this bag are going into the plant. And what it, you know, the plant, how it produces all this beautiful fruit is it brings the nutrients from the soil and takes it up through the stem into the plant to give you this amazing tasting fruit. So top dressing with this, putting this in the bottom of the hole and planting it with lobster compost in a bed that has been filled with Castine blend will ensure that you have a bounty of tomatoes.